Hey, Troy. In regards to the Blake Griffin situation, was there ever a credible trade offer for Blake, or did you feel that a buyout was always going to be inevitable?
Hey, Mickey. I know we definitely wanted to exhaust everything and look into the trade market as well. See if we could facilitate something to get him in a situation, a destination that he would like, as well as making it a good situation for us as well. So no, we didn't automatically think or assume that it would be a buyout. We just landed there, and uh, it's worked out for all parties.
Next, we'll go to Rod Beard.
Hey, Troy, thanks for doing this. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to get your take on where you are in the process of rebuilding, certainly in the first year with the draft and everything else. But this feels like it's coming very, very quickly, and you are way ahead of where you may have envisioned at the beginning of the season.
Can you repeat that again? I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, Rob.
Just where do you think you are in terms of the rebuild? Is it a little bit faster? Have you gotten things done and gotten to see some of the young guys a little bit quicker, maybe moving on from Blake and Derek? In terms of the rebuild, where do you think you are in that process?
I think we'll really look at it in its totality at the end of the season. I think we are a work in progress, obviously moving forward. A lot of challenges still ahead. Trade deadline coming up. But so far as where I consider where we are in restoring, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I mean, I like where we are. The coach, our coach and his staff and the players have done an incredible job of coming in every day, setting the tone, and trying to move the ball forward every day. So I like where we are, and I'll better be able to assess that at the end of the season. But right now, where we are, like, what's happening in spite of the record, I'm really pleased. Can't say enough about Dwayne and staff. You think a lot of times when you're going through this situation, people would say, you might want to have a different, coach or look at things differently. But I absolutely believe and trust that we have the best coach in the world for what we're going through. His steadiness, the way he set the tone with these guys. They often say that the coach, the team takes on the personality of the coach, and that's happened. These guys have been steady. They come in, do their job every day, and that's who Coach Casey is. So he's really set the tone inside the ball club of doing the right things and competing every day, whether it's practice, shoot around, or the game. And that's, Rod afforded us to feel good of where we are in spite of the record. So I would say I feel good where we are in the restoring. I wouldn't say we're behind or ahead or anything, but I'm very comfortable where we are right now.
And maybe just one thing on the Blake thing, that opens up a starting spot for Sadiq to get some playing time, significant playing time. How big was figuring out what Blake's future would be in terms of the rest of the restoring that you're trying to do?
I mean, obviously, it gives more playing time to Sadiq and Sekou and all the young players. Gives Jeremy a little more flexibility. I think we'll, in due time, be able to see Isaiah and Mason play together. But yeah, it just gives us more flexibility there. Also moving Blake on and getting him into a situation of his liking. So it just worked out for all parties. But it definitely was something that we made sure we took a strong look at and being able to afford those young players some more playing time.
Next, we'll go to Justin Rose.
Hey, Troy, did the play of these young players and rookies maybe help accelerate that process? Just from the outside perspective, it looks like, you know, they're understanding the NBA and the professional game a little bit more than maybe some of the rookies around the league.
No, I mean, for all rookies across the league, I mean, you got some guys that are really playing at a really high level, and you got some guys that are, you know, a little behind. But it's just a tough year for the rookies not to have, you know, summer league, normal training camp, just the timing of it all. No, they've come in and, you know, done a great job of dealing with the timetable and what's in front of them. I mean, you can look at it that way, that, you know, that they help things, but they aren't doing anything that we hadn't expected them to do.
Did they surprise you at all with their play, the lack of the, you know, time in the summer and all those different things, the way that they're playing and how high they have? Is that kind of something that you obviously identified them in the draft and moved around to get them and whatnot? Have they surprised you with their abilities?
No, not really. I mean, just who they are as people, what they bring every day, really hasn't surprised me at all. You know, we only saw Killian briefly, and hopefully we'll get to see him again here in the near future. But no, none of the rookies have surprised me. I know this sounds kind of weird coming from me, but no, I'm not surprised by Saben, Isaiah, or Sadiq, or Killian, to be honest.
One more positive than the other. First, the positive. When you guys signed Mason Plumlee, a lot of people, myself included, couldn't figure out why, the money, but he's been really terrific, better than I thought. Has he exceeded your expectations, and you expect to hear from other teams about him during the trade deadline?
Well, Stoney, I mean, Mason's been tremendous. Coach Casey, this was his number one guy that he really wanted for our ball club because of the different skills that he brings, the experience, the locker room presence, and Coach was dead on. This guy's been tremendous for us. He's really helped the young guys. He's really stepped his game up. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, you know, a lot of people questioned it early on, but Coach, he really was beating the drum on Mason, and we had a lot of good talks about Mason before we signed him. And I'm happy for his success, for Mason's success, and Coach, you know, his vision for him. You know, more times than not, players succeed or fail when there's no vision for them, and Coach had a vision for him, and it's working out, and we're happy to see it, and hopefully it continues. So far as the trade deadline, I mean, I'm not sure what's going to come our way with Mason, but we're extremely happy with him right now.
And then the other player I want to ask you about, Sekou, maybe patience is not fans and media's greatest virtue, but did you expect more development from him in year two than when we've seen so far?
No, I mean, you know, I wasn't here last year, and I told Sekou he had a clean slate with me, and I was going to judge him on our interaction from when I first, you know, met him in July, and going forward, he's a young man, young player who's still developing. And like you said, I was taught that, when you're tired of being patient, then you have to be patient some more. So definitely being patient with him as he continues to develop, and he can continue to grow. I've seen, tremendous growth in his work ethic, in his attitude. He has a great spirit about him. So, we're definitely being patient with him as he, continues to grow and develop with the rest of the young guys.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jennifer Hammond.
Hi, got it. Thank you so much for being here to answer some questions. Troy, I just have, I'm interested to know, most people look at a team and say wins or losses or how you kind of judge and see where they are. What would you say to people on the outside, and what do you want people to know about this team other than their record that gives you so much optimism and that this is a team that's doing the right things?
I would say, tune in and watch. We compete, and I said from day one we wanted to compete, and to a man, to a coach, the guys have been very competitive. We never talked about wins and losses, and we won't right now. Of course, everybody wants to look at your record, but we're more trusting in doing the right things every day, building it the right way, laying a foundation for this restoring process, and we're doing it. We want competitive guys, selfless guys who all check their ego at the door, and I couldn't be more pleased with the way we've gone out and exuded that. We have a catchphrase inside our walls called Piston Pride, and it's all about taking care of one another, and on and off the floor, stepping up when guys are down, and guys have done that. You look at the game in New Orleans when we were shorthanded, and the way we competed that night, that was an example of Piston Pride. You look at the game down in Tampa the other night against Toronto, that was an example of Piston Pride. And you look at the next night in New York, the game before the break, and the way those guys hung in and competed was another example of Piston Pride. So we're growing as a group. 12 new players is always tough in a shortened season, shortened camp. And I would just say, just look at us on the floor, and we'll continue to show the city and show our fans what we're all about. We want our work to speak for us, and I think the coaches and players are doing that.
One quick follow-up, if I may. I find it very interesting and impressive that it's being called a restore rather than a rebuild. Why do you choose to go with that tone?
It was funny when I was going through the process of coming here to Detroit. My dad, he used to collect older cars, and he had a 66 Monte Carlo that he was restoring. And before he passed, I would go out there and talk with him. And he said, you can only restore something that's great. And that stuck with me. And there's been greatness here in Detroit, 3 championships. And so that's why I wanted, it was restoring. No slight to what I'm about to say, but like the Timberwolves can't restore. They don't have 3 championships. They don't have the greatness, the Atlanta Hawks can't restore, but the Detroit Pistons can restore. And so we want to restore the greatness back in the franchise. There's been a blueprint of success here. And I didn't want to, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I know what works here. And we're trying to be the 3rd iteration of greatness here in Detroit. So that's where the restoring comes from.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
We'll go over to Keith Langlow.
Hey, Troy, to follow up on Stoney asked about Mason. I know, nationally, I think the Jeremy Grant signing obviously gets a lot of attention, rightfully so. But for most franchises, you're only going to have that type of money maybe once every 3 years or so. And the mid-level exception becomes your best tool. You signed Mason. I know that wasn't strictly technically a mid-level, but the amount would fit under that. How important was that Mason signing, and how important will it be for you guys to identify players like that become reliable starters with a mid-level or less going forward?
It's the job, Keith. I mean, like, you got to be able to identify those guys and get them in your system and your walls and build them up, and hopefully it turns out. I mean, Mason was tremendous. Like I said, Coach thought that he would be a great fit in our system, on the floor and off the floor. We need some veterans. We need some leadership, and Mason's provided all of that. I mean, he's having a career year all across the board. All the veterans. He's having a career year. Wayne's having a career year. Josh having a career year. Jeremy, like all the guys we signed, DeLon are having career years, and that's a testament to the system and Coach and his staff. Like I said, Coach Case has been tremendous fitting these guys in and getting them to play at a high level. And so, these guys in the outside world have exceeded expectations, but Mason absolutely has been tremendous. And a big part of the job is going to be identifying guys, mid-level and smaller contracts that can outplay those contracts. So I know that, we'll be judged by that for sure.
We'll go over to Bob
Quick
Winowski.
follow-up. How has the
Go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. With the scouting process for this year, obviously you guys look to have an attractive draft pick coming up. How has the pandemic and the restrictions and the shortened college season and all of that, how has that affected your ability to prepare for this draft?
I mean, just like last year, I say the same thing. I mean, we're all hit by the same rules and guidelines, limited opportunities. You have to make the most of them. And we'll continue to do our work and be diligent, and hopefully we can continue to evaluate during this process and turn up with some good products for the Piston. But yeah, it's tough, but it's tough for all of us. I mean, we're on Zoom. I mean, so instead in person. So yeah, it's a tough deal, but it's part of it, and we have to make the most of it.
All right, Bob, we'll slide over to you.
Thank you. Troy, I'm interested. You mentioned the trade deadline a couple of times. You mentioned Mason Plumlee. You also have another valuable veteran in Jeremy Grant. I wonder, when you look at your roster and the trade deadline approaches, do you have any untouchables on your roster?
Untouchables? No, I mean, nobody's untouchable, but don't expect, I mean, I learned never say never, but there's some guys that are here to stay. So we'll see.
Okay, I won't use the untouchable word again.
I mean, you can use it. I mean, somebody I'll say, oh yeah, this guy's untouchable. Then, you know, somebody calls me, offers me 4 first-round picks. Then like, okay,
Right.
he's not untouchable. So, I mean, strange things have happened. So,
Gotcha.
We'll go to Omari Sankofa.
Hey, Troy, obviously this was an aggressive offseason for you. Going into the trade deadline, do you anticipate this maybe being quieter now that you have your team in place, or do you still want to maintain that aggressiveness going now?
hi, hey, Mark. You know, like I said, being aggressive is his mindset. Like I said, it might yield you 0 picks or it could yield you 4 picks. So no, we'll be aggressive. We don't know, you know, what the outcome would be, but we're definitely going to be aggressive. I mean, I think where we are, we have to be. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect, you know, a bunch of fireworks, but we're going to be aggressive and comb the league and look at things to see if we can get better. But I don't anticipate as much activity as we had in November. It'd be kind of hard to top that.
And is the Derrick Rose trade a potential, is that an example of where this team is at now, looking at opportunities to bring in more young guys or draft picks?
I mean, the Derrick Rose trade was, yeah, absolutely similar to Blake. We wanted to accommodate him and get him somewhere where he could play more meaningful basketball and us be able to acquire some assets. I mean, we like what we got in the trade. So, yeah, it's just where we are right now. So, yeah, I mean, we'll continue to look at those type of situations. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Justin Rose, looks like you had a follow-up.
Yeah, Troy, I know you got a lot on your plate. This is probably a little out there, but have you heard of NBA Top Shot? Do you know what that is?
NBA Top Shot.
It's a new like digital crypto based trading card moment type thing. I just didn't know if you'd heard about it or not. It's growing with the NBA. You guys are partners and stuff, so I didn't know if you had heard about that or not.
I'm bad on electronics. I'm not on social media. I'm like the worst guy. Like I wish I could go back to a Sky Pages. So I'm the worst. I'm the worst guy. So
All right. Thanks, Troy.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Rod Beard.
Hey, Troy, is there a timeline, a specific timeline on Killian? Are you looking at sometime soon? You mentioned that it could be sometime soon. Is there a specific timeline that you can talk about?
Yeah, next week we'll have an update. That'll be the 8-week mark. So we'll provide an update next week. But he's progressing well. It's been exciting to see him, you know, grow and come back from this setback. You know, they say every setback is set up, but no, he's been working diligently and he looks great. And we'll have an update for you next week, and we're excited to have him join the team here shortly.
And then on Saben, when did you first get on Saben's kind of radar, or when did he get on your radar as a guy that could come in and do what he's done so far this season?
I saw Saben as a freshman at Vanderbilt. He came in with a big class, and I liked everything about him. From them, I actually saw him a couple times on when he's in high school. I didn't know who he was. Bagley high school. I kind of liked him, But then we got to Vanderbilt, you see this big class and, you say, oh, that's Aunt Lee's son. So you kind of gravitate, you say, okay, Aunt Lee, okay. There's something in the DNA there. And so I kind of watched him as a freshman with that class and was intrigued by him. And as we started to do our homework, like I said, I wanted to get some foundation pieces in here, guys that could go through this, that could stand in tall as we're going through the restoring, but have great DNA, be selfless, competitive, tough, defensive-minded guys who could really grow. And I mean, as a young man, like people always say this, he's a better person than he is a player. No, he's a better person than he's a player. That goes with all the rookies. And he has definitely exceeded people's expectations, but not mine. I mean, he's a tremendous young man, tremendous worker. And, the guy didn't have anything, no summer league, like all these other rookies, no time. You just throw him out there. And it's just a testament to who he is as a person, that he's been able to hit the ground running. And it's just the beginning for all these guys, just the beginning. So, no, but he's tremendous, tremendous young man.
Appreciate it, Troy. Thank you.
We'll go back to Omar for one.
Hey, Troy, last time we talked to you, you ended it by saying "Go Lions." I was just curious, have you been able to talk to Brad Holmes at all? And just what does it mean to you to be able to see them also hire a Black GM?
No, I have. Brad and I have shared some text messages. Welcome to Detroit. Well, back to Detroit. He has some roots here. Hopefully get him to a game soon. But it's tremendous. The Lions. They did their work. We kind of had similar scouting backgrounds, so it was good to see him get an opportunity coming from a scouting background. I'm all with him with the line. I used to tease friends and family all the time for having two teams. I never believed in that. Like, you can't have two teams. But now I'm gonna be a two-team guy. Like, the last 10 days I've been trying to learn the Tigers roster. I'm a huge Nationals fan, but Tigers good. They're in the American League, so I got an American League team. So I'm learning their roster. I'm gonna be a Lions fan as well, even though they're in the NFC as well, like my Washington football team. But I guess you live long. They say you live long enough, you experience it also. Now I'm turning into a two-team guy, so I'll be a Lions fan as well as a Tigers
fan. Mike Stone, you have follow-up?
Well, yeah, first of all, I can definitely relate to that coming from Philly. But I want to ask you about Dennis Smith Jr. Is he somebody that you're going to have to really think hard about making a decision about what to do in the future? Because he's really, to the layman like myself, he really looks like he's almost back to where he was when he first started with Dallas.
Yeah, we're excited about having an opportunity to bring Dennis in and evaluate him. And he's still a young man, and we're excited about the prospects of him the second half of the season and going forward. He has a lot of the traits that we look for in the new Pistons going forward. So, no, you're right to assume that we're gonna take a long look at Dennis Smith Jr. I really like what I see thus far.
Well, thanks, Troy, for taking some time with us. Appreciate it. Just a scheduling note for everybody on the call. As far as practices. I believe we're going to have a late practice tomorrow. So just for your planning purposes, note that, and we'll send out links for that when we have all the information. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Troy.
On the Saben thing real quick, I see Vincent over there with his Roll Tide shirt on. I was really convinced because he went in there and hung 30 something on the Crimson Tide. That really convinced me that he was ready. So I don't know if Vincent, you saw that game, but you might want to go back and.
I saw it.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just, you got on your shirt. I just want to make sure you, when I saw that game in person, actually, I was like, wow, this kid's the real deal. So.
Right, don't empty the clip, oh, Vince.
He hit like 10 threes that game. So he was pretty good that night.
All right.
All right. Thanks again.